Okay, guys, we're back. Another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest. I'm Seth from the Lonely Stoner podcast. As you can see on your screen here, this episode is going to be a bit different. I'm going to be doing Dana White's job for him. This dude ain't trying to show up to work. He ain't trying to give us the great fights we deserve, fight fans. So I'm going to do his job for him. I'm going to fix the UFC Light Heavyweight division. I'm going to be booking fights for the top 5, including the champ. So the top 6, really. And they're going to be meaningful fights. They should hopefully be competitive fights and fights that ultimately are able to push the division forward. There's a problem in the UFC at the moment where you've got all these top guys and they're just waiting. They're just not fighting each other. They're the top 5 guys. It's me and my co-host Evan, we've talked about it on the podcast a number of times where it feels like once you're a UFC fighter that gets to the top 5, there's no point you even fighting other guys in the top 5 because you can just wait out for 6 months, 8 months, a year, and then just get a title shot. So why would you fight someone else in the top 5 and risk your ranking, right? That's got to change though, right? Because we need to be seeing top fighters fight each other. We need title eliminators. Sorry, we need fights with jeopardy on the line. We need competitive fights, and the few matches that I've sort of suggested here will give us that. So let's get into it. Okay, so first fight, we've got Ulberg v Khalil Rountree Jr. Now, this is a really interesting fight. Actually, it's not that interesting. It's not that interesting, but it's a pretty good fight. Ulberg is ranked number 3. He's largely a striker. He's coming off a close win to Yan. A fight where, arguably, Yan could have won that fight. It was close. It was competitive. Yan won the fight. Not Yan won the fight. Ulberg luckily won the fight, so he's ranked number 3. He's a striker too. And Khalil, of course, is ranked number 4, and he's coming off a comfortable win against former champ Jamal Hill. Both guys are strikers, and both guys, in theory, should come to fight. And if it's over a 3-round fight, then these guys really, really, I like to see these guys throw down. Even though Ulberg's last fight was a 3-rounder against Yan, he didn't really throw down that much, but I'm hoping Khalil can try and force that out of him, because Khalil's got a very interesting style. It's a strike heavy style. He loads up a lot on his shots, and if he can land on you, then he can cause problems, but if he can't, then he can sort of be whiffing, and you can see him get gassed out come the 2nd, 3rd round. But you got to survive the onslaught, and if you can, then you've got a chance. If you can't, then you're cooked. But that would be one of the first fights I'd book, ranked guy number 3 in Ulberg against number 4 in Khalil Rountree. To be honest, if it's a 3-round fight, I do favour Khalil Rountree. To be honest, I favour Khalil Rountree in a 3-round fight over a lot of guys at 205. Right, because he's got that sort of style. It's a sort of style that's high impact, not necessarily high volume, I would say. I'm not going to say it's a high volume style, but it's high impact. He clearly packs a punch, and he's developing the IQ as well. That's been there, to be fair. The striking IQ has been there. The fundamentals have been there as well. It's just he's got losses on his record, right? There's guys that have beaten Khalil Rountree, guys that aren't that good at MMA. I think Kutalaba put a beating on him. You're Khalil Rountree. How are you losing to a guy like Kutalaba, but you're beating a former champ like Jamal Hill, and you're going 4 rounds in a very good fight against Powhatan, but you losing to a guy who's barely ranked in Kutalaba. But that sums up sort of Khalil Rountree's entire career. But yeah, he's going on a run at the moment. He's put not a few good wins together. But that most recent win was a very good win. Ulberg, on the other hand, has been putting together good wins. I think he's on a 3-fight win streak. Obviously, the cherry on top being the Yan win. But an interesting fight, and the sort of fight that the UFC needs to make. Ranked number 3 guy against ranked number 4 guy. I would pick Khalil to win this fight, but anything can happen. Right? Okay, second fight, who we got? Second fight, we've got Powhatan v Yan 2. Now, again, an interesting fight in my opinion. It's a sort of fight that asks questions, right? The sort of questions that are going to be asked are, does Yan still have it? Can he still compete at the highest level? And basically the same for Powhatan as well. Now, obviously, we all think, I think everyone sort of knows the Powhatan's still at the top level, but we don't know that about Yan, right? Yan is currently ranked number 5 and arguably was robbed against Ulberg. I just talked about Ulberg. Jan arguably won that fight. He put in a very good performance. It was a 3-rounder. And for a guy who's had such a long layoff and a guy his age, he looked really good. Right? And also, Jan has fought Alex Pereira before and gave him, in my opinion, the second hardest fight of his career. Second hardest fight of his career at 205, sorry. Right? I mean, arguably the second hardest fight of his career, because even when Izzy beat Poatan, Pereira was still beating up Izzy, right? He got caught, like Jamal Hill said, he got caught. I got caught, you got dominated. Like, that is sort of what happened in the Izzy fight. Izzy caught Pereira and then stopped him, where Jan had a lot more success, right? A lot more success with the grappling. And that was really all it took, really. It was a 3-round fight, had a lot of success with the grappling, and like I said, gave him one of his hardest fights. Arguably, arguments could be made that Jan may have won that fight, right? So I want to see them run it back. I don't see anyone really talking about this for some reason. I would love to see these guys run it back, but for whatever reason, I guess Jan's been inactive and he's ranked number 5 now, but I still want to see that fight. I still want to see Jan v Poatan too. Of course, Poatan is ranked number 1 at 205, and he will need a win before getting another title shot, in my opinion. Of course, Jan is even older now than he was when they first had their fight, and Poatan, everyone knows, is still one of the best strikers in the UFC. People really forget, man. Poatan is still one of the best strikers, one of the most dangerous strikers, and can still put anyone's lights out, right? Definitely can still put anyone's lights out. He's got power in those hands and those kicks. He stopped a lot of guys, and just because he's not got the belt anymore, don't be quick to write off Alex Pereira. So yeah, that'd be the second fight I'd book. Number 1 ranked guy against number 5, a rematch, and could easily be a main event of a fight night. It couldn't main event a pay-per-view because they're not world champions. I think this deserves to be a 5-round fight, so that's why I would main event it as a fight night and not have it as a feature fight on a pay-per-view. But yeah, an interesting fight nonetheless. I would favour Poatan to win this fight because, like I said, Jan's even older now. He's got even more miles on the clock. I think he's had a couple of injuries that have made him be out for a while. And Poatan he's Poatan, right? You know, he can put a guy to sleep with one punch, right? Then lastly, we've got the next title fight, and this will be the last fight that we've sort of presented here. Now, Ankalaev, of course, is the new champ. He beat Alex Pereira to win that fight, to win the belt. It was a very close fight, and not a lot of people, but some people are giving that decision to Poatan. But ultimately, Ankalaev won the fight and was awkward enough and tricky enough and also disciplined enough and showed really good striking fundamentals, and he stuck to a game plan, and over 5 rounds, he arguably beat Alex Pereira. Not arguably, you know, he's beat him. He's the new champion, right? And really, if Ankalaev, he's beat Poatan, if he can beat the guy who I'm saying should be his next fight in Jiri, then you're sort of looking at it, you're thinking, well, Ankalaev could potentially have a bit of a run or a bit of a reign of terror over the light heavyweight division, because if he's beat Poatan and he's beat Jiri, those are by far the 2 best guys in the division outside of Ankalaev, and you're like, who else is going to take this belt off Ankalaev, right? But that's the thing. That's the question. These matchups, they ask questions, right? Can Jiri beat Ankalaev? He's a one-of-a-kind kind of fighter, Jiri. He's ranked number 2, and to be honest, he's the first fighter I've ever seen who blocks punches with his face. And he's largely a very unpredictable striker, and MMA math rarely works, right? So, Jiri lost to Poatan, Ankalaev beat Poatan, so Ankalaev can beat Jiri. That's MMA math, and it rarely works, right? Styles make fights. Yuri's a lot more, I would say a lot more awkward than Pereira, even though Pereira is very awkward, but it's in a very different way. It's very different. They're both strikers, I guess, quote unquote strikers. Well, they are both strikers, but that's pretty much where the similarities end in terms of Pereira and Jiri. Even Ankalaev, in and of himself, he's a striker too. Don't get it twisted. Ankalaev is a striker. He struck. Is that the word? He struck with Pereira for that fight. There wasn't a ton of grappling, considering you see Ankalaev's name and where he's from, and fighting a guy like Pereira, you think it's going to be a lot of strike, a lot of grappling. There wasn't. Ankalaev stood with Pereira, and if anyone can stand with Pereira, nobody else has been able to do that at 205, apart from Khalil for 2 rounds. No one has been able to stand with Pereira for 5 rounds like Ankalaev. That is a huge feather to your cap, right? Being able to do that alone, let alone beat him, let alone take the belt from him, right? So I do fancy Ankalaev to beat Jiri here, but I think this logically will be the next title fight, because I don't think Pereira should get an immediate title fight, and Yuri's next in line. He's coming off a dominant win against Jamal Hill, where he mollywopped him, dropped him multiple times to make Jamal Hill look mad silly, right? Coming off a really good win there. And yeah, it's a fight that makes sense. And I think those are the 3 fights that would fix the light heavyweight division. I'm also going to give a sort of bonus pick as well. And that would be, it's not on the presentation, but that would be Jamal Hill versus Dominic Reyes. I think both guys are sort of at interesting points in their careers, where you've got Jamal Hill, who, to be honest, for the most part, he's probably on a downward hill slope. I was saying to Evan before, he probably is one of the worst world champions we've ever had in the sport. In recent memory, in like modern MMA, he's one of the worst world champions, Jamal Hill. But again, he's going to be a guy who's going to be wanting to prove a point. Dominic Reyes is a very boxing heavy style, very good boxing fundamentals that Jamal Hill does not have at all. Jamal Hill's boxing fundamentals are awful, which would probably be a very easy night for Dominic Reyes and would be another loss for Jamal Hill. But these are guys who are just outside the top 5 that would be looking, in Jamal Hill's case, he'd be looking to break back into that top 5. And almost also to Dominic Reyes as well. He wants to get back in that top 5. But Dominic Reyes has been outside the top 5 for a lot longer now. So he's going to be looking to sort of break into there. I believe they're around 7-9 or 6-8, around that. So a fight that makes sense, and stylistically, I think, again, stylistically a fight that makes sense too. But yeah, that's how I would fix the UFC light heavyweight division. It's safe to say it's a very interesting division. It's a division where it's not got a ton of huge names. Like I said, if Ankalaev beats Jiri, he's already beat Poatan. You're sort of thinking, who beats this guy? No one can beat this guy. This is going to be a reign of terror like Usman, like Islam, like one of these guys where you've beat the top guys, like a Marab even, where there's no one left. There's no one left. But we'll see. We'll see. That's how you fix the light heavyweight division. 3 fights. Put the top guys in fights against each other. Let them fight. Let's get some winners. Let's get some title eliminators. Let's get some clear new number 1 contenders. Some names at the top of the division. And let's get these guys active. You know, Ankalaev, he should have fought already. Or he should be booked to fight. If he's not fought already, he should be booked to fight again over the summer. Like, what? There's no need for these long layoffs, bro. Like, get active. Fight these guys, man. But yeah, like I said, this video is a bit different layout. So yeah, let me know if you guys liked it, and leave a comment below and subscribe, and I'll make some more videos like this. Alright, another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.